why would you say, oh, some game journalist said 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, I'm going to play it? Like, that doesn't mean shit to me.
Because those people that's their job.
Why would my opinion be the same as their opinion? Literally, it's like a dozen dudes that are like, yeah, it's a good game, bro. Like, that's it.
Well, don't sit there, dudes, now. It's women too. Give me a woman's voice,
fine.
okay?
This is a great game. I don't give a shit what gender they are. It's still some person in a room making the decision.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Unfiltered Gamers, where we talk about video games and content creation and all that fun stuff that, everybody seems to be mad at nowadays. I'm Delacroix, and with me, as always, I didn't get to...
Every time, I feel like I cut you off with it. I get excited.
Yes.
I'm like, I get to say my name now.
And once again, with me is the face of the podcast, Matt Curious.
Your face is just as big as mine.
No, but everybody comes to see you. I know what draws in people. Everybody's like, we're gonna come for the girl with a big smile.
Yeah, I'm sure that's it.
That's what they come for. You're what the viewers want to see.
I'm sure that's it.
See. Not this. They want to see that.
Don't think that's true. I think they're here for our brains.
That's not.
They're probably not even looking at us, if we're being honest.
That's true. They probably listen to our voices. This probably sounds terrible.
Probably no point on me even putting on makeup.
I've told you, you got to do it. Like, I need my face.
I mean, I did do one without it, but
who noticed? No one. No one cared.
Let me know if you noticed and you stopped watching because of it.
It's like, who's this? Ugh. Get her out of here. So before we went live, I had like a little minor frustration headache with Mad because we talked about what we were gonna do. What did you say?
Every single time, to be fair.
No. Don't make it out like I'm just constantly frustrated before we go live. But we literally had like a conversation about what are we going to talk about. We said we're going to talk about the video game awards.
I thought
she's like, okay, cool, no problem. So what it was typed. It was typed.
Yeah, I thought you mistyped the other day. I was like, oh, he meant the TGA.
Is it the TGA? That
I don't know.
Sound
You're
right.
convinced that it's the other one, so I'm
okay.
And I don't know anything, so.
So I said we're gonna talk about the video game awards, and I said, okay, we're doing the VGAs today, and she's like, VGAs? What is that? I'm like, the video game award. She's like,
the Veterans Golf
that's
Association, or the cable.
The Veterans Golf Association, or the cable, the VGA cable. For some of you who don't know, before you had a USB and the data cable, there was something called a VGA. It was a big block that plugged into the back of your motherboard or your graphics card.
Most monitors still have it, to be fair. Unless you got like a really new one, they probably still have them, right?
I don't think I know my graphics card doesn't have it.
Yeah, no, maybe not graphics card, but like monitors, I feel like still have it on the back, the plug for it.
Yeah, but I think the newer ones don't. I think they're going away with it because of the stuff. But whatever. I sat here second guessing myself. It was like, isn't that the right acronym? Am I using the wrong acronym? She's saying the TGA, the Game Awards.
That's the only one I know, to be honest. I know there's like a golden joystick too, so I wasn't sure if you were referring to like all of the cumulative.
No, I just wanted to talk about why would that's a lot. That's a fucking lot. It's the golden joystick and whatever nonsense out there that's like
them, and I was impressed.
Stuff.
They're like tracking every game award.
Who?
Me? No, someone on Twitter.
Because you know why? That's all their life is. That's it. Twitter is their life, or content creation is life. I have another life. I have to wake up every morning, pretend to be a human, and go outside. And I hate it. It's cold. And it's wet. It was like rain for 3 days. And I look at my lawn. I'm like, I gotta like not shovel snow, but rake the leaves. And I don't want to, because the tree across the street from me still has leaves on it. So I'm gonna rake these leaves, and there's more leaves gonna fall. I don't have a tree in my fucking yard. I'm bitching. I'm on a rant.
You're getting the fall experience. I don't have that. It's just getting kind of cold. I just have to wear a hoodie when I go outside.
Yeah, tell the viewers about your hoodie that you were flexing on.
Oh yeah, I did streamer games before Ludwig. This says winter 2022. Okay. This happened before Ludwig's. I just need everyone to know how important I am and how cool I am and how I did it before him.
That's the point we are in life. We just we have to do things before other people now. But you know what? I never even heard of streamer games. What was the streamer games? What
I
was
don't know,
that
a
really about?
tournament, I assume. I just know that I saw it and I was like, wait, I did that first. Mine was a tournament. It was cool. It was 4 days, and I did 3 different segments each day, and it was like a clip segment where you sent in a clip for a type of game because that was easier to judge, for like DVD, for instance. Like, and I got it. Oh, and then the second one was like everybody just straight competes in a game. So like Mario Kart or something. And then the third was where you still straight competed in a game, but you didn't know what game it was going to be, and the chat chose between 2 on the spot. So they had to be ready for 2 different games. And then that was 3 days long with those 3 segments. And the 9 winners all competed on the 4th day and did like crab games and like an IRL game that was more creator focused. So it was like you have to find something in your place and then come tell us about it. And I had like random questions for them and stuff. And yeah, it was cool. And
where
I
was
had,
this
I had
held, like,
hosts
in?
with me the whole time. So I found people who either knew the games well or who I knew would be really interesting as they played the game. And we would have kind of like what we're doing now, where we were just chatting while they were playing the game, or we'd be kind of narrating the game. It was kind of just dependent on the host. And they'd have the game playing in the background, and they would come out. And if there was judging that needed to be had, we did. But most of the time, it was just straight winners.
And where was this held at? Like you did it from like home, like you were like
Yeah, it was in
at home?
Discord. Yeah.
That's no fun.
You want me to be magically rich and fly everyone out somewhere?
No, but I want you to be magically rich and be like with like a host in the same room. You know?
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
that would
That's
be.
what I had in my
yeah,
head.
if I were magically rich, I would do that. But of my capabilities, the best I could offer was like prizes. There was like
Mad,
bunch of
don't let
prizes.
Mad fool you. She's balling. She's got like look at her chick and compare the minds. Then look at her background, compare the minds.
That's where all my money goes.
So getting back on topic, the Video Game Award 2024, the nominees have been selected, and I just did the math. It's 29 categories. There's 29 categories. You have Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Best Score and Music, Best Audio Design, Best Performance, Innovation in Accessibility, Game for Impact, Best Ongoing, Best Community Support, Best Independent, Best Debut Indie Game, Best Mobile Game, Best VR AR, Best Action Game, Best Action Adventure. I feel like action and action adventure should be the same.
So you're really looking at one called the Video Game Awards?
Yes, Mad.
I've never heard of this
are
one.
a content creator in the content creator space, and you play video games, and you
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay, so I don't watch award shows like of any kind ever.
Okay.
When I type in Video Game Awards, I see the Game Awards.
Yes, the Game Awards. It's the Video Game Awards.
The Game Awards.
But if you type in VGA 2024, what's the first thing that pops up?
The Game Awards. So we're talking about the same
Yeah.
show. Okay. That's
So-
all that matters. But
Okay,
I've just seen it referred to as like the Game Awards and TGA because it doesn't have video anywhere in the name.
Maybe I'm wrong, and everybody else is right. So in the comments below, please let me know which is the right acronym. Is it the VGAs or the TGA? I think TGA sounds stupid.
It does sound
TGA.
stupid. I think that yours sounds better. I don't know. I don't watch these shows anyway. I don't find award shows fun. I think they're all, for the most part, pretty dumb, like the way that they're run. I mean, like the audience votes like 10%. Like fucking.
Yeah,
like,
we could
who
talk.
are these random fucking judges? Who gave them power?
We could talk about the streamer awards that's ran by a particular streamer and how it's just her giving awards to her friends. And I'm gonna go on a little rant here because one of my homies, you know, we came out to support him so he could get nominated for a category. And then guess what happened to the category? Oh, because the category supposedly didn't get enough votes, so they removed it.
Wait, you
And
went
then when
to
I
the
called
streamer game awards, the streamer awards?
Yeah, so there was a category for best live, like best like live ongoing series. So like it's like IRL streaming. So like you know how like Kai Synapse like did like he was like a fake prison ongoing. So one of my homies, he does like actual like live action shows. Like think you ever watch Adult Swim?
Yeah, it's been a while, but
You know,
yeah.
after like 2 a.m., you get that weird Adult Swim where there's like live action mixed with cartoon and it's like very weird.
No, that
Like you
sounds terrifying, but cool.
So that's the type of stuff he does, and I've been a part of his productions. Is it great productions? Yes. Is it good for the quality of the money that we have? Yes. Is it like on a level of Adult Swim cartoons? No. So it's very like low budget, but we're doing our best. So the community and some other people, we went and voted for him. Supposedly the category didn't get enough votes, so it was removed.
Wow.
And then when I called that out, the streamer that was in charge of it claimed that, oh, I don't know what category, that was never a category. When literally when I went to vote for the categories, that category was there, and there was a screenshot. Somebody had a screenshot of that category being there, but he was like, listen, he doesn't want he doesn't want drama. He doesn't want drama. Just end it. And you know me, I go full send with things, like especially if like something like this, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Like I got so upset at like, I wasn't upset at him, but I was just upset. I was like, this is bullshit because you fucking deserve it. This is fucking stupid because I bet you if any of these other bigger streamers was a part of that category, it'll still be there. Just because you're a smaller streamer and no one knows you, and they probably saw it and was like, what the fuck is this, and got rid of it. So that's that. So as you said, yes, some award shows are stupid, but with this, I feel like it just gives credit to like video games and stuff and developers that would help those companies and their games sell more during this like the fourth quarter of the holiday season, because holiday season is when all these companies expect to make the most money. True or false, would you say, at being in the business sense of things?
For like gaming?
Like gaming, any industry.
Yeah,
I
mean,
well,
a lot
especially
of industries.
gaming.
Not every industry, but yeah, a lot of industries for sure. Holidays are big.
So the final ones, so best action, best RPG, best fighting, best family, best sim strategy, best racing sports, best multiplayer, best adaptation.
Wait, so did you
most anticipated?
Did you like the
content
awards otherwise?
I watch it just to see who wins what, because I want to see who wins game of the year.
Yeah, I've never watched it, to be honest. I've only seen like clips from online, just a little bit, like on Twitter.
We should watch it and stream it.
I was thinking about it.
We should watch it.
I'm doing an event that Friday that could run into Sunday, so I'm not for sure on if I'll be watching it. But if the event doesn't go that long, then yeah.
Yeah. So one of the topics that came up was in Game of the Year. So the nominees for Game of the Year, they have Astrobot, Baltoro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor Refantazo. I don't never play that game. So I guess it's like a JRPG.
Yeah,
not a
it
JRPG,
looks
but
really good. Even though it's not a game that I would ever play. It's not like my type of game.
Why? Why isn't that your type of? Why isn't that your
I don't really play JRPGs. I don't really like turn-based that much.
Though.
I don't really like.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like turn-based. I like more like realistic-looking Last of Us type games, art style-wise. The art style's beautiful. I mean, gorgeous. It almost attracts me, even though it's very much the opposite of what I normally do and play. Like, I would almost try it just because it looks gorgeous and people have a lot to say about it. It's also very much into like sort of politics, or it just has a lot where it's like talking about the world. And sometimes I'm into that, but like most of the time, no. I don't know. I don't think it would be my type of game. And it's not like the gameplay, everything about it is just like not what I normally play. Nothing wrong with it.
So,
it's just, yeah.
So a lot of people are upset because of Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. A DLC to the Elden Ring game is on there as Game of the Year as a nominee, which I myself, I do not agree with, because that is a DLC, that is expansion to a game, and they won in 2022 when the game dropped. I do not feel that Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree should be there as Game of the Year. Why? Because again, it's a DLC. You can't play that game without the original game. Yeah. And half the people could barely get through the original game to get to the fucking DLC and finish the DLC. Now, I'm not saying that the difficulty of the game plays into it, but again, this is a DLC. So it kind of snubs and takes away from some of the game that could have been there. So I do believe, I also don't even want Final Fantasy VII Rebirth there, because that's a remake. And I honestly feel there should be two new categories: best DLC and best remake. Because I'll be pissed as shit if I saw fucking Last of Us Part 1 here. Like,
Honestly, this might be the first time that we are in full alignment ever on the show. Like
Wait, is
everything
this-
you just said, I fully fucking agree with.
I think this is the last episode ever because there's no way for us to talk about it anymore because there's like, you know, we're in agreement. That's it.
We are in full alignment on this. Like really, I couldn't have said it better. DLC, it's legitimately like if we open that door too, it allows for corporations to play that game, and we know, you and I both know, that they will play that game. It's what they do.
Exactly.
And people are like, oh, they already released a bunch of DLCs and additional. I'm like, I don't think you understand. Imagine that it gets to the point where it's like Sims, and we're like fucking menu piecing together games.
Yeah, if you and they'll give more opportunity for games like, let's say, Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2024 didn't do too well when it first released. We can all agree. Cyberpunk 2024, when it first dropped, everybody was hyped, and then
It's
it fell
funny
flat.
that that's because of bugs, I will say.
The bugs.
Because that's
But
not
then-
why I quit it, but I think that people are kind of ludicrous with their handling of bugs personally. Like if that makes you
Yeah.
leave a game you like,
It
I
can.
side
It
eye.
can.
I
It
side
can.
eye.
So when they finally fixed everything, the game was good. But then they released expansion. It was like Liberty something, some weird expansion. And the expansion was phenomenal. People loved that.
The trailer was
expansion.
cool. It literally said like the game is fixed, like in the trailer. I thought that was cool, even though I still don't like Cyberpunk, and I don't know if I need to give
Yeah.
it another shot. But I was pissed at it for other reasons. So
But could you, like, as you said, it'll put the game developers to want to put more time into actually putting out good DLC / expansions.
yeah, and like
when I
fixing
say-
games later though, which is that
Yeah,
what we
but the-
want? You know what I mean?
No, hold on. So when we talk about expansions and DLC, we're talking about like not the fixing the bugs, but like
Right.
a whole new different story.
Yeah.
So The Witcher, I don't know if you never played The Witcher 3. You'll probably never play The Witcher 3 because you're like, that's not your type of game.
Well,
It's
I
not your
have it,
tempo.
and it's on the docket eventually. It's just again, yeah, not. It's gonna be an investment. I already did RDR2 this year. I can't.
So The Witcher has one DLC and one expansion. It has it's like, is it Blood and Wine or some? It was some shit. But the expansion was like a whole new separate region. It was like amazing. It was fucking phenomenal. It gave a game that had like hundreds of hours of gameplay an additional fucking 50 hours of something. And it was phenomenal. And that's why everybody had such high expectations for Cyberpunk 2024, because the same team that did CD Projekt Red that did The Witcher 3, and it was so fucking good, was like, they're doing Cyberpunk. So that everybody's like, if The Witcher 3 was phenomenal, Cyberpunk should be fucking phenomenal too. But it didn't.
I
So
remember
I
it even
agree with you.
attracted me
If-
as someone who hadn't played Witcher, because I was like, this world
Exactly.
looks so cool. All the neon, like all the opportunity. I was like, this will be just the craziest game that's ever come out. That was like my impression. I was so pumped, even as somebody who like wasn't in the gaming news stratosphere. It had reached me.
So everybody's kind of upset of this. And, you know, they're not upset at the Final Fantasy Rebirth thing. I am, because I don't agree with Rebirth being there. But Elden Ring Shadow of Earthtree, a lot of people feel like it shouldn't even be there for Game of the Year. And I agree with everybody.
Well,
And then you have... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so I don't know about you. I think you play a lot more new games than I do.
I try.
I've played 4 new games this year. I counted. One was Star Wars Outlaws, and that was one I was legitimately excited for. It was right up, like, it wasn't even right up my alley because I don't play a lot of open world, but I loved it. It was perfect for me. The other 3 I've played were remakes and remasters, because Tomb Raider was a remaster,
Yeah.
Until Dawn remake, and now Silent
Okay.
Hill 2 remake. So
Yeah.
I don't really count those as new games. I love them. They've been really good to me. Do I count them as like brand new games that should be on the game of the year? No. I think they should have a
Yeah,
different section.
the video game awards should have it, or any like award show that's having for video games should have a category for best remake or best DLC expansion, because that right there, like you said, it will force all these game developers, like, we need to fucking step our shit up and put out some good expansions, because Firm Software does expansions. They know how to do expansions. The expansion for Bloodborne, they gave you a whole new other world. The freaking the Nightmare of the Hunter's Nightmare was like way better. I forgot the name of the expansion, but like
But
that was a whole new thing.
a DLC is additional content. Like it
Not
even if
oh wait. DLC, so there's DLC and then there's expansion. The same as DLC, but with expansion you get like more hours of gameplay, like probably like 20 plus. A DLC could say, I got the DLC that gives you like a side quest, a new side, like your stupid Assassin's Creed games. They give you like a
don't call them
dumb
stupid,
side.
first of all. Unless you're gonna sit down and you're gonna play every single one in order like I did, you don't get to call them stupid.
Okay, excuse me.
Yeah.
So when your Assassin's Creed game give you exclusive DLC when you pre-order, right? It gives you like a side quest, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't really
but-
care about DLCs overall. As like,
Jesus Christ, man.
I don't.
What do you
don't.
care about?
I care about Assassin's Creed. I don't care about
I can't-
DLC.
I can't
Like
with
I
this.
don't
I
get this
can't
whole
with this. I
DLC
can't.
trend. I think it's here's the thing, because DLCs, why not just have it in the game when I buy the game?
It's in the game. It's just locked behind the code.
I just
all
think
that
it's
shit is in the
stupid.
game.
I
It's
just
locked behind the
I
code.
think DLCs as a premise are pretty stupid. Just give me the game I paid for. I don't want a menu.
Well, you got the game you paid for, but if you want more of the game, you got to pay for it.
Just
more.
bake it into the price. It's just an extra side
It
story.
is.
It's just a way to make more money. I think DLCs generally are a pretty stupid premise. I think it's just a way to make more money. It's like they took out a side mission, made it give it a little bit more oomph, and then they were like, all right, let's charge like half the game price for the shit. Like,
but they do. Okay, but some companies give it to you for free if you pre-order, and some companies give you for $10 more when you order a certain edition. So you get it, you pay for it, you get it.
I think DLCs are overall dumb. I don't know. That's my like straight up opinion on it. But
expansions is a whole different ball game. That is a whole other region, whole other story, whole everything. And it's usually not locked behind stuff, because I didn't see none of these people. You ever see like those guys that go on like video games and like they find like hidden code and it's like, oh, look at this area. This might be None of that was done for fucking Elden Ring. Everybody's like, oh, maybe this is maybe, and then they were like, nope, here's a whole other fucking region. And there's a whole other bunch of bosses, and these are the motherfuckers who like
imagine if they had just made it something that they had to discover. I think that would have been cooler than like charging them for it. I think it would have been cooler to have gamers find it.
Well, if you ever play like a Firm Software game, it's like everything you do opens up some other area, because there's a lot of shit
felt like that again.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have felt special.
Yeah, exactly. So staying on topic with the game of the year, a lot of people are upset that Black Myth Wukong is there.
I haven't seen anyone being upset about that.
I'm gonna tell you why they're upset. It didn't get high enough scores. They're claiming that it got mediocre scores. So they're saying the game because the game was getting 8s and everything, and the game got fucking those scores because of people are stupid, because a journalist was like, diversity is not in the game and it's hard.
I feel like people would have been more upset if it wasn't included.
Yes, I would be upset.
Yeah, I feel like the internet would have like raged against the machine had they not included it. If they had included Elden Ring DLC plus not Wukong, I think the internet would have exploded, actually.
And I would have, because but to say Black Myth Wukong shouldn't be there because it got 8s. Yeah, it got 8s. Some of these fucking games that's on these categories only get 7s. So because it got an 8, and they only got 8 because people were trying to bring the game down. Game journalists are bringing it down. And I'm sorry. As like, Ariel, as she said, game journalists, their words hold a lot of weight. And right now, with how game journalists are, no one can trust them, because now they're starting to freaking double back on their reviews for Dragon Age, the Veilguard or whatever. They're double backing on it. They're backstepping, like, oh, maybe the game is a little bit too woke. It's like, before the game was going on a high note, it was the last one. You guys were fucking sucking it off. Now all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe we're wrong, because what you played the extra couple hours in the game. Now it's wrong. Now you're like, oh wait, the game isn't that good. Maybe.
I don't like that they can do that. First of all, I have a lot of thoughts on this, but one is like, you shouldn't be able to walk back especially in that volume, because that means that it means there's some sort of, that feels like a conspiracy. You know what I mean? It's one thing if somebody's like, hey, I played more of the game, but even then they should have to play more of the game to like, they should be giving you a full review, not like, hey, I played, because first of all, I have so many thoughts, I can't even get them organized. Like the first 10 hours of any game are supposed to be like the best 10 hours most of the time. Like they spend time on those hours because they know that's what like the majority of players are going to play. They know a lot of people aren't going to get past that. A lot of gamers just play those first, 10 or so hours. They get to like the middle bloat and they call it a day when it comes to open worlds. And they're like, yeah, that was a fun game. Then there's some who always finish their games, or at least most of them. But most people are going to play those first few hours. They're viewers, everyone else. So they spend the time there. And if they don't get past that, they're not seeing the majority of what the rest of the game has to offer. And I just don't think it's right to write a review on that, personally. They're doing that for gaming journalists. They're doing that for the reviews. On top of that, the review number means absolute jack shit. And I think that anybody who listens to review numbers instead of looking for gaming features is doing themselves a great disservice. If you
I look at the numbers, though.
You do. And I think you're doing yourself a great disservice. I think that you could find even more games that you would like more than some of the ones you played or whatever. Like, it's just, why would you say, oh, some fucking game journalist said 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, I'm going to play it. Like, that doesn't mean shit to me.
Because those people that's their job.
Why would my opinion be the same as their opinion? Literally, it's like fucking a dozen dudes that are like, yeah, this is a good game, bro. Like, that's it.
Well, don't sit there, dudes, now. It's women too. Give me a woman's voice,
fine.
okay?
This is a great game. I don't know. It's fucking like it doesn't matter what gender they are. I don't give a shit. It's still some dude in a room just making the decision. Dudette, whatever, in a room making the decision. I don't give a shit what gender they are. It's still some person in a room making the decision. Jesus. Made a new review. Like, who cares? Like, who are they to make the decision?
People care, but people care
because it's like
because
gaming,
we need a scale. We need scales. We need balance.
Okay, but the scales don't mean anything. It's just an opinion.
Does.
You know what would mean something if the scales were actually weighing something other than one person's opinion. If they were saying, oh, this game has this much challenge level, this game has no. Instead, they're saying like, I think this game is good. I think this game is bad. I don't give a shit what some random person says. I don't care how many games they've played. That doesn't mean anything to me. That doesn't tell me if I'll like the game. You know how many games I played that I hated that other people love? Like, think about RDR2. Like, you think I'm just listening to people's opinions?
RDR2 down.
It's just a perfect example. Cyberpunk, same thing, didn't like it. Ghost of Tsushima, I gave it a second chance, still didn't like it. All right, I don't agree with the majority opinion. That's just and there's a lot of people who don't agree with majority opinions. Why it's
that
majority and not all.
but the thing is, we have these ratings and scaling because it takes a collective to it sometimes. Look at movie ratings and Rotten Tomatoes and stuff. That has a scale.
Do you watch movies based on that? Because I have news for you.
Because Rotten Tomatoes, these critics will say, oh, this movie sucks. And the fucking audience was like, this movie rocks. You know how many movies, critics, and people have said it's dog shit? And I watch it like, this is a fucking art
or the
masterpiece.
fans, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, any number, like, it's fine if we just want to say, okay, yeah, all of the fans voted on this great number. But most of the time, it's going to be the outliers anyway. It's going to be the people who feel strongly on this side and strongly on this side. It's not weighing the final count. You know what I mean? Like, I'm never someone who votes or watches award shows, but I game a lot. So, my opinion's never counted. It's just how it is.
Your opinions matter, They're matter to me.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter. It's just an opinion. Just like a professional reviewer's opinion really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Their opinion isn't any more important than yours or mine.
So are you saying down with video game reviewers? Take away their jobs?
So I think that there's value in gaming journalism. I do not think that the value in gaming journalism is in gaming reviews at the current way that it stands. I don't think gaming reviews at this point in time, the way that they are built, have any weight whatsoever, like in terms of importance, like in value. I think that does influence the industry. I don't think it should.
That is a strong stance. I would like to see that on the Twitter post and see what happens. Because people on Twitter, they're probably, I'll be there to help you, defend you.
Yeah.
But I just want to see.
I had had
the
a good
chaos.
conversation with someone on Twitter who does game reviews about it. I was like, I don't think what do you think is the value in game reviews? I want to hear it from like an actual person who does it. And we got into the conversation a little bit, and we ended up following each other.
Yeah. So that you had, because you have conversation with a sensible person,
Yeah.
sensible people
A
at
sensible
times.
game reviewer,
But
because they kind of agreed, but also see value in their own work, and I think that's fair.
But there are other people who are not so sensible, and there's game reviewers who aren't so sensible either, and they will fucking go crazy.
Yeah.
And call you a problem. They will call you you are the problem.
I'll do it after I finally post my video the videos that have the system that I'm going to show you in it, that we can kind of go over together.
You gotta show me that system.
Yeah.
One other thing people kind of like pointed out was that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has been nominated in one of the categories for best audio design, but not Dragon Age. Let me just double check, because I don't want to make sure that Dragon Age is here. Dragon Age is here for innovation and accessibility. A lot of people saying Dragon Age should be for Game of the Year. I was like, no, we're not doing that. Dragon Age is.
I mean, if you went off of like purely what games were talked about the most, it would for me be like, I saw a lot about Dragon Age. I saw a lot about Wukong. I saw a lot about Stellar Blade. I saw a lot about like if it was like purely a Twitter popularity contest, like an internet gaming popularity contest, those would be on there. What else did we see? I mean, the Elden Ring DLC was talked about. It's not a game, though. It's not a game.
Anything. But what's funny is because you see how I've never heard this category, innovation and accessibility.
So
have you ever heard this?
I haven't.
This is new.
I have opinions on accessibility features.
Well, before you become an ableist on this channel.
No, I'm respectful about it.
Yeah. But you see how they were able to make a category for this?
Yeah.
You could do the same thing for DLCs and fucking remakes. If you have a category for accessibility, you could do the same thing on games that have remakes that have brought people back to the classics. Silent Hill 2 was a remake. I never played the first one because I was too scared. I mean, not scared. I just wasn't, ready for it as a kid. I had,
It's a lot. I played like 3.5 hours last night, and I can't play more than a few hours on that game at a time, and I can play like dozens. Like,
why? Does it scare you?
No, it's like grating.
Intense?
It's purposefully grating. Like
explain.
Like grating as in like grating cheese. It is
trying.
It is trying to like wear you down. Like I think for the 3.5 hours I played last night, because it goes like around where you're fighting and then you have puzzles and you're fighting in the dark and you're just trying to figure out where the hell you're going, and then you might have a puzzle and you have to figure out how to solve that puzzle from the environment and go get stuff. And
yeah,
it's
that's
like
classic.
You're just constantly lost.
Yeah, okay.
This part didn't have any puzzles. I was just lost and like dealing with things coming at me for like 2.5 hours of that. The last hour I was just lost, but the 2.5 before that was like legitimately me just fighting and fighting and fighting, and I like nonstop. I mean, everywhere I went.
You would not have like any of the old, like, you gotta remember, like a lot of stuff you're playing now is from based off
I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just
a
lot, and especially when it's like you're trying to manage your resources well, because I'm very careful. Because I just don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I've been down to like almost no resources at the beginning of the game. Now it feels like I have a lot, but I'm still really freaking careful about it. So it just feels like I'm getting worn down slowly but surely.
but that was the beauty of like survival horror games, because it's like it keeps you on your toes. Yeah. It's like, I'm doing a puzzle now. What the fuck is gonna happen to me? Okay, I gotta make sure I got enough ammo or whatever.
Yeah, well,
and it's like
it doesn't just
that was what made those games so fucking good.
Well,
and
they're doing a good job, but I mean, even like they had like a staircase that you go down, and you're like, "Am I making progress?" Everything on the walls looks the same, and I don't see anything at the bottom. So then I look at the top, and I'm like, "That doesn't look like that's moving either." So I keep going, still looks the same. Everything on the wall kind of looks, maybe that was different. And then you keep going, and I'm like, chat, is this a joke? And then I turn around, and finally the light looks a little bit further away, and I'm like, maybe we are making progress. It was like it's like they're trying to fuck with you, and I think it's cool. I think it's perfect.
Silent Hill.
Yeah, it's
Silent
the
Hill
point of it.
is
I get
based
it.
on that.
It's just, it's hard to play in long doses because it is literally trying to fuck with your mind.
Yeah, I mean, wait, you never played Silent Hill: The Room?
Mm-mm.
It's literally a guy in his apartment, and he moves the picture, and there's like a hole in the wall, and you go in there, it's like a different world. And so it's fucking freaky game. That was one of the Silent Hill games I played, and it fucked with me. I like games that have like psychological shit in it because like you sit there, and when you're done, it's like, was this like what am I? It makes you question your own humanity and stuff. It's like, are we on a simulation?
Yeah,
But,
I think it's cool.
I want to go back and you said innovation and accessory. You say you have some not issues, but you have like something.
Yeah, so like
some opinions on that.
I thought Outlaws deserved it. So for instance, since I know you haven't played it, they made it so, because they're on the nominations. They put like, I think 4 different groupings of like what sort of things you might need in accessibility, like I think for like sight and hearing and all this stuff. And so I thought that was cool. They brought up that menu towards the beginning. It looked really good. And the thing is, it looked part of the game. It was like immersive in the game. So it like made sense to me. It didn't feel like I was being thrown out. Now, I think they also did something else that throws me out that every other game, I know for sure Silent Hill 2 did it. When you boot up the game and the first thing that happens is like the voice is yelling at you. And it's like, do you want the screen reader? And it's like, no, I don't want the screen reader. And I understand that like if you can't see, that's very valuable for you. But I feel like there could be another way that like doesn't break your immersion, and it's the first thing that you experience in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's my main issue with it, is that I think, well, that and like the yellow, for instance, like all of the yellow in games, yellow paint. I call it Naughty Dog yellow. It is. It's 100% accessibility.
No, I know. But I've seen it all types of games.
Yeah. It's an accessibility feature. Think about like how games used to be. Think about like 2007, pre any yellow paint, pretty much. The yellow paint I think started coming in around like, I call it Naughty Dog yellow because it was white. It used to be like
white or something. It used to be like a white streak. It used to be white or something, and then they gave you the option to make it yellow because some people can't see the white.
There's a little bit of white here and there for it, but it's like so rare. Most of the time, it's being lost as part of the game, right? And I, as much as I get frustrated, I love it. You know, I like the journey of it, the adventure of it. That's the game. And it's like, if you take the game away from me because I'm like, oh, there's where I got to go, you know, it's done for us as gamers. You know,
you don't
for
like your hand being held in certain places.
Yeah, and it's like, I get if you need to turn it on. Same with hints. Like, for instance, I normally always play games by default because I want to know what the default experience the devs intended was. That's what I want to judge a game off of. Batman, I finally just turned off the hints in the second game because it was too much. And even then, it's still too much. It's like they're ruining the game for me. Batman holds my hand, he yells at me. Other than that, the games are fucking perfect, but the hints are just too much. And I think we should hide that in menus always. I don't think that should be the default experience, because then what is a gamer even doing? You know what I mean? It's like the game's playing itself.
Oh, so you're pretty much saying like, when I open the game and boot it up for the first time, all those freaking hand holding should be off for me. I should have the option to turn it.
Like, have them in there
on.
For anybody who wants them. Sure. Yeah.
Anybody
turn
who
them
on.
For sure.
But it shouldn't be that as soon as you boot this game up,
it's making games easier, and it pisses me off.
Got it. Well, yeah, remember, gamers. Do you remember the whole argument with like games shouldn't be hard? They should be fun because nobody wants to stress out. Like, you know, it's the modern gamer has, I honestly feel, when we could talk about this for hours, has ruined the gaming industry because they want so many things. And then for me and you, we sit there and go, this is fucking annoying and a task.
Yeah.
And these people say like, oh my God, it's so innovative and revolutionary. It helps us. But the thing is like, you may not even be buying the game. You see it and everything, but it's like, it's a pain in the ass to have to go through every menu and turn it off.
Yes.
Or as you said, for you, for them, it'll be a pain in the ass to find it and turn on the menu. So I think maybe here's the cut here is to split things down the middle. But the game boots up, and if it has accessibility menus, and the menu screen, you know, it says like brightness and stuff. Before the game actually starts, it goes, this game has accessibility features. Would you like to activate them now? Or now? Yes or no? Yes, it has all the hints and all that stuff.
Yeah.
No? Okay, cool. You can turn it on later.
I thought the Outlaws way was
That's it.
good. Figure out a way to hide it in the UI so that it feels organic and intrinsic to the experience. Just make it so here's where the accessibility settings are. Introduce it somewhere during the boot up process, but make it more minimal, like not minimalist, but make it more into the atmosphere of the game, however that looks. Like think it over. Make sure that it's like, because I thought the Outlaws one was good, right? Where it like was still part of like the neon lights and the boot up, and it just looked good and it looked clean and I could get out of it quickly. That's kind of what I want. It's okay. Like that's good with me. Just not the yelling at me as I boot up the game, and not where I have to go through 8 menus to get to the game. I had to with Silent Hill 2. And again, I like Silent Hill 2. I think the game itself is really good. Even if I can't play it a lot at a time, I just, those menus, man, it just takes me out. I was complaining the whole time. You know what I mean? And I still remember it.
The only thing at my gripe with Silent Hill, and is when I was first playing it, I didn't know what the save was, because again, I played Silent Hill, like I've always seen people play Silent Hill back in the days and they loved it, but I never really played it. And when you go to the first save point and the whole screen just turns red and you get hit with like a red screen, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's a lot.
So that took me off guard. So
you
best
know what the community
games
was saying, like horror games have more menus in general too, because they were suggesting that it's because they want you to get more immersed and they don't want you have to go out and like mess with settings. And I'm like, I mean, how much do you really change the brightness when you start? Like, I just want the default experience. And then if the default experience isn't for me, then okay, I'll go in and like change, but I almost never change it. I want what the game is, even if it's dark and terrible. You know what I mean? Like I want to see what the game is. I want to appreciate it for what they made. I don't want to. When
they have a brightness in a horror game, I'm like, let me just turn this up a bit, because I don't like walking into dark places and getting startled. I don't like it at all. And that's why I don't really like the game. Not that I don't like it. It's like is not quite my tempo. Is the Outlast games. People love those games. People like I just learned the whole lore. I spent like 2 days watching videos on the lore Outlast. Phenomenal.
I think
phenomenal
that's the
fucking
only
story.
game that I've ever quit because it was hard for me. Was Outlaws.
Phenomenal game.
Outlaws, sorry,
phenomenal
Outlast. Because I got stuck. I legitimately could not get past it. I even watching a walkthrough. So I was like, I think that's the only game I've ever quit because it was hard.
Yeah. So that game, you gotta turn up the brightness. I play Trials with some people because that's a multiplayer game, but when playing Trials is still like a fucking cheat clencher, because like the difficulties, like the fucking people that's walking around, they're hard. But getting back into these categories and nominees, we got Best Ongoing Award. So we got Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy. I'm gonna mess up this number. Is it 15, 16, 15? XIV. Which number is that? 14. That's 14. Yeah, 14. You don't know your Roman numerals?
You're the one who asked me.
Assassin's Creed?
You're the one who asked me.
You know Roman...
What does Assassin's Creed have to do with anything? They only go up to like 4.
Yeah, but they have Roman numerals in one of the games.
Yeah, they go up to 4.
But in the Rome one, Odyssey, is it not Roman numerals? I can figure it
out. I have to think about it, though. It's not like a language I use very often. It's like if I had to count in Spanish, I could maybe do it, but it's going to take me a minute. I'm so serious. It's the same thing in my brain. It's like in a place of like, I've learned this, I've memorized it, I don't fully understand it.
It's a back burner somewhere in your brain.
It's somewhere in there. Have to reference it.
And then you got Fortnite and Helldivers 2. I'm going to tell you right now, Helldivers 2 isn't winning it. Because Helldivers 2, while it has really good, like...
people are pissed about the PSN thing.
Not just a PSN thing. It's just like they're not giving us more content. Like when I say more content, they're giving more stratagems and weapons, but they're not giving us the new race. Because in the Helldivers lore, there's 3 factions of like alien species that we want to liberate. When I say liberate, it means take them over or whatever. So it's
so like the American liberation. Got it.
No, it's Super Earth. Get it right. Fucking Super Earth. Okay, so it's the Tyranids, the bugs, the automatons, the robots, and then the Illuminates, who are like these like actual like space aliens. So for years, for like a couple months, they just been like hinting towards it, and we're not getting it. So it's like being teased with something really good and we're not getting it. So I don't see anything. The real contestants I see really winning this is probably like Fortnite, because as much as I'm not a huge fan of Fortnite, I have to say, when they put out content, they don't miss.
Yeah, I mean,
For,
it's successful.
they just did a Marvel big
Mhm.
fucking expansion, and it was like it didn't miss. Fortnite doesn't miss. Epic Games, their whole strategy to go from a tower defense game to a fucking battle royale. Whoever sat there in our office and said, "Let's do this," should be like the fucking richest person in the company, because was a fucking ballsy move, and they kept it alive by constantly adding in skins, dances, and then fucking all these use expansions. That's like, it's not like,
Well,
a little.
I'm
Go
fully
ahead.
convinced that it's Fortnite is partially to blame for the Concord mess,
Why?
because these companies saw opportunity and they tried to mimic it, and they can't mimic Fortnite.
But Fortnite is just battle royale.
No, just like the whole live service, like we're gonna, continue to progress and people are gonna love us and it's gonna be a whole thing. That mentality of like live service is because of
Yeah,
Fortnite.
I get you.
Yeah.
And so games I really see like staying up, because this is the first round picks, and some of these games might fall off. But I really see like either Fortnite or Destiny 2, maybe Final Fantasy 14 taking it. My money, if I had to place a bet, I would go with probably Fortnite, just because of that Marvel event. It was so huge,
I could see that.
and
I mean, I
everything
think
they
Fortnite
did.
deserves it. What do you think is gonna be game of the year? You think it's gonna be the DLC?
If it's a DLC, I'm gonna be pissed off.
I think
It
I
it
think
better
it could
be.
be
It's gonna
that or
be.
probably Final Fantasy, which I know you said
No,
you
it
think
has to
is.
be Wukong. It has,
No,
bro.
no, 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 no. I'm not saying it should. I'm saying I think it'll probably be either the DLC or Final Fantasy. And I
I
know Final
think
Fantasy was technically a remake. I kind of looked it up to try to figure it out, and it looks like it was like a remake that built out by like a million hours compared to the original, which still is kind of it's like we're getting these games that aren't. It's just confusing at this point. It's like, can we just have games? Like,
you want to. So, who do you think is gonna win Game of the Year? What game do you think?
I think one of those two will. I think I'm leaning towards probably DLC would probably win, and I
So
think
you
that
think?
second will like. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Final Fantasy did, but I don't see any of the others taking it.
Okay, so you want to make a friendly bet?
Sure.
$5?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, $5
You think it's gonna be
on just
Wukong?
on camera. Wukong. I'm betting
All
on
right.
Wukong,
All
and you're
right.
betting on one of the other two. So
Yeah.
you see, that's you get a better odds. So
Okay.
so if
Do you want
Wukong
a
does
second one to even the
uh
playing field?
no. So
You
if
don't want a second
Wukong
game?
wins, no, if Wukong wins, if put it like this, if Wukong doesn't win, you get $5. If it does, I get $5.
All
So
right.
that's how it goes. So it's on stream. You can't go back because I gotta record it.
Done.
Wait,
Done.
you gotta record it. Fuck, she could change it.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay,
So
so
you
five
think
bucks is on
Wukong's
the
gonna
line.
take it? Okay. Because I
But
know
yes,
I wouldn't. I think it deserves it. I think that I saw a lot of good talk of Wukong and what it did, and people really liked it all around. There wasn't a lot of complaints in it. The only complaints that we saw were like bullshit. It doesn't have enough woke, which is like absurd. So
it's just not just when I talk about Wukong and the game, it's just not just the gameplay. It's the art and the story that they had in the game. Because in the game, after each chapter, they kind of show like a little story based off of Chinese mythology, based in the Wukong mythology world. Because the Wukong story goes on for has been around before we were born. And it's like 10 books or something of Journey to the West, maybe more. And they show you like these little like clips and stuff, and it's different animation styles, and it's so beautiful and so well done. And like when you see the story in the game, it's like this is like a really good story to not offend and keep the lineage of that Chinese art going. Like, could you imagine imagine a game that is that respectable to the lore and the story, that was like, we're gonna continue this and we want to do it right. Like when God of War came out again, how the director and developer of the game was like, we don't want to screw this up at all, because we're taking on God of War, which is like a franchise that was like phenomenal, and the way it ended, and now
that
we're
could
picking
have
it back
gone
up.
very wrong.
It could have
Yeah.
went bad, but it did so good. It was handled so well.
Huh.
And even the second one, even though the second one got a little bit of heat for its changes and stuff, it was still a beautiful game, a beautiful story. And I wish a lot of people will play Black Myth Wukong. I know it's like a Souls-like game, but if you just play it and just see like the story and the characters and everything, and just kind of like understand like these people put passion into that, and it's so beautifully done. Some of the art design and like just the stories of some of the characters is like it's so sad. Like there was this one story that like actually like got me choked up. I was like, this is so sad. This is so sad. And I manned up and I was like, I got over it. But it's really good. So I think that's why I think that game should just have game of the year. It should. And it'll be a big fuck you to all these people.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen you play it, I think, and maybe one other person for like a minute. I don't know. It doesn't sound like my type of game necessarily. Like I think I could have fun with it, but it just, doesn't mean it shouldn't win.
Best mobile games is looking at the games for best mobile games. You got like AFK Journey, Baltolo, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. That's gonna win. That has to win.
I don't know. A lot of people are very pro Balatro, especially with it getting the GOTY nomination.
What is that?
So I did a little research because I was wondering, because that was
it.
the only one I hadn't heard of on the list. And when I looked it up, it actually, I feel like it deserves it only because it actually probably deserves it more than the others. And here's why I say that. It's a brand new game. Like they came up with a new system, new rules, something unique, and then they made it well. If that's not a GOTY, I don't know what is. Like they legitimately made something
I get what
new,
you're saying.
And then made it well. That's all we could ever ask for in a GOTY. Like it feels like as much as you're excited about Wukong, it feels like games that have existed before, right? It's like they did it. Like what differentiates it at the end of the day, other than it's a very specific mythology. And so for me, I see Balatro and I'm like, oh, they actually created a new game with new rules and they did something new. That's what a GOTY should be. Not, oh, we relied on the old and you just liked it fine,
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And they have two other games here, Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero. I never played those games. But I know Balatro, I can't even if I can say the name right. But I remember some of my homies were playing this like as a rogue like card game. I was like, I don't know. But like when I think of best mobile games, I think of like a mobile game like that resonates with people. And like the Pokemon trading card game kind of came out and it's like so addicting because it's like the card pack feature and everything. Like it's like packs of cards. You spin around and you open a pack. And it's like all the cards you could like turn the pack. You could turn the deck of cards sideways to see if maybe you're gonna get a rare card. And you get like the god packs and stuff, and like the battle system. And I think it's just like a game that you could just jump in, play, and then get out. And if you like Pokemon, you could collect all the
which is like the
cards
thing
and you
for
get shiny.
mobile. In general, like the best mobile games are the ones you can kind of jump in for a minute when you're waiting for something. Yeah.
Like Marvel Snap ruined my life and ruined a lot of my property because the game is so like competitive. It's competitive. Marvel Snap is a competitive game right off the rip. It's competitive. It's no holds bar. No hose bar.
Yeah,
and
I mean those mobile
VR,
games will get
AR.
you back. Yeah, I used to play. Actually, I used to play Monopoly on my phone back in the day, and I played
Really?
Clash of Clans. Those were my two during college. Yeah, I'd play them during class and stuff, just because I have to multi-focus or I can't focus.
So now we got best action game. We got Wukong up there. We got Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. So Stellar Blade, I've heard so many good things about it. This is a game I actually have to pick up. I'm gonna wait for a good Black Friday sale to pick this game up. I'm gonna throw it on PS5. I'm gonna play it not because I like seeing boobies. Okay.
I've heard some of the true fans say like they're kind of upset that people focus so much on the boobies because they think it took away from what the what the topics around the game could have been, because they're like, the game's really good. Like,
Yes.
they actually don't like that people are using it as a example of like, oh, this is a great game because boobs, because they think it's a good game outside of that, which I think is how it should be, right? It's like, if you want to add
Yeah.
something to the game, you want to add flavor in that way, go for it. But like, it should be a good game on its own. And I feel for them, because they're like, that's not what we didn't want, this type of representation necessarily. It's like, yeah, sure, we like that, but like, yeah.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest when we talk about like sexuality in games and stuff. Look at fucking Bayonetta.
I don't.
What sold
I don't know.
Bayonetta on it? What sold people on Bayonetta? It was a fucking game made by Capcom. It was a hot fucking witch chick. And then when you play the game, it's like, oh, this is kind of like, she's sassy, she's funny, and all this stuff. And the gameplay and story is good. When you look at those games that come out like Capcom and Sega, it's over the top and wacky. And people like that. Stellar Blade was just like, okay, you just happen to be a sexy fucking killer. And there's a whole bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of women who are like just killers. And they're like elite force, and it's happened to be sexy. But like you said, there's a great story behind that. You know, Warhammer 40K is just a bunch of brutish. I feel like Warhammer is just like a man's man fucking type of game. Like if you like a man, like you like,
Man.
I fucking eat steak and drink
You
beer.
eat steak and drink bear? Is that what you said? Drink
Beer.
bear?
I eat steak. I like my steak bloody. I drink the best beer.
Mhm.
You know, I play Warhammer. Because that's a man's
okay.
game.
Yeah.
You never played Warhammer? Have you ever like Warhammer?
I'm not a
is just
man's man. So
I hate you. I can't with you. So
no, I mean,
Warhammer.
I really haven't played a lot of games like you have. That's why I was saying the other day, I think you could beat me in most games, because I feel like you've played
I can't. No,
more,
no.
and just in general.
This
Like,
is
I
why-
played a lot of Animal Crossing back in the day. You know what I mean?
That's
And
your-
like, I'm gonna play
because-
Last of Us again this year. I'm, you know.
Why? Why are you playing Last
Because
of
I
Us
came
again?
up with a
Why?
special event. We can talk off.
What's the special
off
event?
Recording. We
I'm
can talk off
tired.
recording about it.
Listen, I'm. If I have to fly down,
It's a
to
really cool.
Florida,
It's a really cool idea. I
No.
don't think you understand. I'm testing a concept, and I need to do it with a game that I know well.
I'm gonna fly down to Florida. I'm gonna find you and make you play a fucking different game.
Find a game that's like Last of Us, and we'll talk.
No, we're not finding. We're stepping outside your box. You gotta get outside this comfort zone box, because you're in this little box.
I do.
of, like,
I've played.
yeah.
I've touched all of the Tomb Raider games this year. Eventually, I'm going to come back and
Oh,
finish all of them.
That's not in your box.
I played RDR2. I played Ghost of Tsushima.
In your box.
I played Outlaws.
box.
I
In
played
your box.
all of Uncharted.
In your box.
That was just this year. I mean,
Those
I
are
played
box games. Those are in your box games. There's in your box.
And
That's in your safe
Stardew.
space.
I've been playing Stardew with Silent Hill 2. All of the Batman
super
trilogy.
safe space. That's like that's kind of see. Batman is stepping outside. You're like, When you start
Silent
getting
Hill 2
to
is a lot more different than Batman for me. And
Yeah,
I'm
but
loving
it's-
Batman. Batman makes me upset for. We can talk about that another time. It makes me upset
Yeah,
for the industry, but
so Silent Hill and the Batman games is you stepping outside your safe
I
space.
do step
That's you.
outside my safe space all the
But
time.
no, you.
I just know what I like.
This is you. This is you stepping outside your safe space. You go.
RDR2 and Ghost of Tsushima were way further than like I don't
No,
like open
I
world
need
very
you-
much.
I need you to actually just go.
I played half of Bloodborne apparently. I didn't know how much I got into it, but yeah, no, I liked Bloodborne. But my community wasn't crazy about it at the time, and I needed to move along. It just
I
wasn't.
understand. Listen.
It just wasn't doing well for me, and I was taking too long with it, and I just needed to move along.
I think
But I'm
the
gonna
community.
make a big event of doing these. I've been talking it up
Yeah.
for like the last year. So when I eventually hit it again, people will be excited for me to tackle Soulsborne. I've done Plague Tale. I've done I do a lot of like random indie stuff too. Like I did a Fire game this year. I did Calico. I think I finally finished that this year. Calico was great. That's a totally different type of game.
Is that just a game about a cat?
It's a game about a cat cafe, and it's very cute. It's very cute. I would not recommend that. Probably most people play it because they won't find it cute. But if you like cute games, it's.
You know
So
what
I play
don't
like
see
some
here?
of the cozy genre here and there. You know,
I don't see best horror game. But
there's
when you
no
go to
horror
best,
genre on it.
there's no horror genre. But here's the thing: when you go to best action adventure, Silent Hill 2 remake is in here.
That's ridiculous. It's not an action adventure in any way, shape, or form. I would not call that an action adventure.
I would say that's a horror or survival. Like,
yeah, there's nothing about that that's action adventure. I don't like how they're misusing genres at this point. Like, I was saying last night, we need like better labels for gaming. It's just getting all over the place. Like, for instance, they even call, I know you just said I use it as an example of everything, but RDR2 is used as an action adventure game. It's an RPG. It's definitely an RPG.
What?
It's if you Google RDR2, it's called an action adventure game. That game's an RPG.
I don't know what the classify that
Action
game
adventure
as.
is like Batman. You know what I mean? Batman is classic action adventure.
I don't know. Then when you get into like games, like the game categories of a best esports game, okay, how much do you know about esports on a scale from 1 to 5? 5 being the highest.
0. Other than that, what's it called? Super Smash was like the original. I watched a doc on that. And
Could you name an esports team?
FaZe.
That's good. Okay, all right. Can you name one more esports team, please?
Optic.
Okay. Okay, you can see like
Do I
you
pass?
knew. Yeah. So okay, so the esports category right now we have Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, which is never gonna fucking leave there. Mobile Legends, Bang Bang. That's a dumb fucking name. Who the heck? Mobile Legends, Bang Bang. That's just dumb. And Valorant. I honestly think Valorant may take it this year because League of Legends has been like the king, and Counter-Strike 2 has been around since I was in fucking high school going to video game cafes. So I don't know. Like, I honestly feel like with these esports things, I feel like the esports genre, like when it comes to certain games, it's always like it's shooters and then MOBAs. So we have 3 MOBAs and 2 shooters. But when you look at the esports like genre stuff, there's like other games out there like that on the esports docket. But I think it's just because it doesn't get the hype as like, you know, the LCS and all this stuff. And we see all those big clans and stuff go to like Call of Duty and even like esports when it comes to basketball and sports games. It just goes straight into MOBAs and shooters. And I'm kind of tired of seeing a Counter-Strike here. I'm really tired of seeing Counter-Strike. Tired of it. Sick of it. I don't know. That's just my quick rant on that stuff.
I mean, yeah, we could probably have a whole episode on esports just in general. I think we could because there's a lot. I feel like a whole story there. Oh, that other one too, 100 Thieves.
Oh, that other one, 100 Thieves. I feel like you just threw out whatever you could get off the top of your head.
Those are the only teams I know. Is like the really popular ones.
You don't know G2, Cloud9? How could you not say Cloud9 of all?
I've never heard of that in my life. I don't.
Cloud9? Shroud
First of all,
was called
I don't
Cloud9.
really play. I barely know Shroud. I barely know that he exists. I've only heard that name in recent times.
In the new times, not the before times.
I don't like engage with a lot of huge streamers. I don't really care about celebrity status, anything. I don't care about like what's popular. I care about what I like. So, and I don't really play a ton of multiplayer. So, other than Call of Duty, Fortnite.
I suppose. But yeah, that's it. That's the video game awards we're getting. Like these are like some of the nominees. We didn't go into all of them, but like these are like the main ones that everybody's talking about. So
well, and
it's gonna
the genres too, like you said, it's missing horror. Like it's like we don't have like it should have DLC. It should have with as many remakes as we're getting. We should have a remake award like that. Like I said, I've played more new remakes this year by a long shot. That's 70% of my 75% of my new games were remakes, remasters. And it's just happening all the time. And it's because we had a lot of really good games and they're bringing it to the new technology. And I think that's fair. I think I think we've talked about that a little bit, but I think it's fair to have some of those, but they should be their own category. You know, there's no reason to mix it in because a GOTY should be a new game. It shouldn't be something that's built on another game. It shouldn't be something that's relies upon the popularity of a game, because that allows a corporation to just plan out 10 DLCs, make them really good, and then another, like an actual new game doesn't get a chance. And that's how like life is played, sure, right? Like all corporations, everything else, it's like whatever is the biggest can continue on and everything else doesn't really matter. But like in gaming, we have something special where it's art, it's what we enjoy, it's what's fun, and we can, you know, make a category where it's actually like, hey, this is new, and that should be the game of the year. Because at the end of the day, if it's not talking about what's new, we could just have the most popular game that's played every year, and it doesn't even have to be new anymore. Like, well, you know what I mean? It could just be some game that came out 10 years ago that everybody's playing.
That is true. So they do need to like fix up the categories, but I also feel like the categories are based off of viewers and who what they're voting for and want to see. But like,
Well, and
you
who's
got
lining
categories
their
like
pockets,
best content
if we're being
creator.
honest.
Why do you have content creator in the video game awards? Like, leave that open for the streamers.
I mean, how much do you think they might actually be getting their pockets lined by the categories that they use and the games that are on it?
That's a good question. So you think some of these, like, this is like, here's some money?
I think it's a club.
Everything's a fucking club. Yeah. Everything's a fucking club nowadays.
So yeah, why is there a content creator section? Club. Why is a DLC on the thing? Club.
Yeah, I mean, they have best esports athlete as a category. Why?
Club.
I really don't like that some of these categories are here. Give me, like I said.
Well, we haven't even gotten to the jury yet.
The what?
The jury. Like how this process works. Yeah. Like fucking 90% of it is them. They decide on what the options are, and then their vote is 90% of it. Why even have the public vote?
So wait, you're saying that none of our vote matters at all?
No,
in this,
not even a little bit.
I can't. Seriously? So when you get 9, so all the people that vote for this.
I googled it. Let me make sure I'm not telling everybody wrong, but I googled it before, and that's what it said. 10%. Audience vote contributes 10%.
Why?
Exactly. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. Maybe I should tweet that.
No, you should tweet that. You should tweet that. Please tweet that out. Please tweet that out.
I'll tweet it after this. 10%, putting it as the holding as soon as we're done. Yeah. I didn't realize people didn't realize. I mean, because I just assume that nothing that I ever do matters. You know what I mean? Just in the scheme of things, that like games are being played and I'm not part of them. So I never assume that I have any power or control in any situation. I feel like people seem to think that they do. Like their vote matters.
That's so crazy that we only have 10. Like our vote only matters 10% in that whole industry, and so
they're deciding. They decide what the options are, and then they decide which one they want to win. And you get like
it is really just a club.
To just kind of high five them.
It is just a club. We were all scammed.
Yes,
it's a scamage.
That's what I'm trying to say.
We've been scammed. My whole life is a lie.
You thought that you were actually getting to decide?
Yes.
No.
I thought it was the viewers.
No.
Because they say the viewers. The viewers.
Yeah, you decide, but that doesn't actually like decide it. You can decide in your heart.
I hate. Why'd you ruin my day? My whole day is ruined now. Now I'm gonna think about like.
You really thought that like the audience was fully deciding?
I thought we had more than 10%. At least fucking 70, 60.
Unless my Google is on. Let me see what the source of the Google is. Hold on.
It better not be some guy saying I made it the fuck up.
Standard.co. Reddit. Steam. Steam says Game Awards voting power. The voting weight means with a jury of 9, the audience's vote is 1 jury vote. So it's 10 members of the jury, and we are 1 as a collective, is what Steam says. But again, these are like people, but it all seems in alignment together. Now I see NeoGAF, Polygon, Level Up, Reset Era, everything. I mean, with that many sources, all the sources say 10%. So crazy.
I don't like this.
Yeah. I can't believe you didn't know.
I didn't.
I knew something.
She's so happy. It's like, I knew something. Della didn't know. There's a lot that you know I don't know. That's so fucking annoying.
I might not know the name, but I know the percentage. Yeah. I mean, and so it's just a jury of like IGN fucking coming in and being like, yo, we like this game. This is the game of the year.
You know what?
That's what I've been saying this whole time. Like the reviews, the fucking game of the year. It's just some dudes in a room being like, yeah, that's our game, man. Like fucking, you don't have any say.
Dudes and
dudettes.
Okay. Ty, you always
we
bashing
probably
men.
have about as much vote as the mass public does. One fucking jury member.
You know what? We're gonna make our own awards. Me and you gonna make our own awards.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have 95%, and people's votes are gonna have 5%.
Yeah,
you know
you
what?
can't if I choose, nobody's gonna agree with me. So
no, fuck that. We're gonna make an award,
put outlaws
and we're
on
gonna
there,
have.
and nobody's gonna agree with me.
We're gonna have 99. Let's do that. Me and you gonna make our own award show, and I'm gonna be a guest on your stream, and we're gonna come up with the categories.
Okay.
We're gonna make our own
categories.
categories
Like at the end of the year, where it belongs.
Perfect. We're gonna come up with our own categories, stupid ones. We're planning this out, and we will have 99% of the vote, and everybody in the viewers will have 1.
No, it should just be 100%. You know.
Damn, no. How about 99.5%?
Oh, you want your vote to matter? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I want my vote to be law. Our vote will be law, and that'll be the main thing.
We could just have our own and then like share our results. Like, you know, mine would be Outlaws, but it's also like the only new game I've played.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, let us know in the comments below what do you think, and how do you feel knowing that this new information that I never knew, that we only have 10% of a say when it comes to these categories.
Say who the jury is for anyone who doesn't know. Judges the Game Awards, because it's hilarious. IGN, Inverse, Jeff Gerstmann, Kinda Funny, LA Times, MinMax, PC Gamer, Polygon, VentureBeat, The Verge, Touch Arcade, What's Good Games, Game Rant, NPR, Pride, and Variety.
It's all bullshit. The whole system's rigged. You don't have a say. The government hates you. The Christmas isn't real. Santa doesn't love you. Everybody hates you. This is bullshit.
I found more confirmation that it's 10%. Upset. Winners are determined by a blend of vote between the voting jury, 90%, and the public fan voting, 10%. Fans can vote for their favorite games on thegameawards.com. In China, fans can vote on the winners via Bilibili. Fan voting closes Wednesday, December 11th. That already happened, didn't it? No, we're not in December yet.
Yes, December 11th happened. We are in January 2025.
No, we're not in December yet.
We in 2025. That's where we're at. Welcome to the future. All right, let us know in the comments below how you feel about this and the nominees, and who do you want to see win Game of the Year, or or there's some categories that should be added or taken away, or that you don't agree with, and especially this whole notion that we only get 10%. Oh, that's all we matter. 10%. We're the consumer of the stuff. God damn it.
IGN matters more than you. You didn't know? They're important.
What?
They know all. IGN decides, man. If IGN says the game is good.
Stupid. Fucking stupid. Well, once again, I'm Delacroix.
I'm Mad Curious.
And thank you for joining us on another episode of Unfiltered Gamers. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Goodbye.